You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife, the changing of friends. I've explained previously that a narcissist will invariably have haphazard relationships with many people. Certain narcissists, usually lessers, go through friends very quickly because they're so volatile that they, in essence, blow up with ignited fury and lash out at those friends in such a way that very quickly the friends tire of the friendship and no longer want to be involved with that narcissist. They stop answering the calls or make excuses why they can't meet up and remove themselves from the orbit of the narcissist. The narcissist, of course, searches out new friends elsewhere, occasionally trying to hoover the existing friends back in. Mid-range narcissists are less volatile, but similarly they can lose friends as a consequence of placing people on the shelf or taking people for granted, particularly with regard to bitchy backstabbing that goes on, resulting in the friend deciding to have had enough. With mid-range narcissists, friends are part of the facade and therefore tend to be treated in a better way. Occasionally there are one or two that are scapegoated, but they are generally treated in a more favourable fashion compared to that of the lesser narcissist. But as I've explained to you before, there are certain narcissists that have an upward trajectory where they don't leave their friends because they necessarily fall out with them, but they basically pop them on the shelf and don't return to them because the narcissism determines that they serve no current purpose. That when the narcissist was starting out in life, they had a set of friends that might have a similar level of income, education to them. But then all of a sudden, the narcissist finds what they perceive as a superior social circle. Perhaps people with more money, perhaps people who have better connections, people who have different interests. And rather than maintain 2 or 3 different social circles, as some people do, the narcissist determines, I'm better than this lot, I don't need them anymore, and moves on to what they see as a higher echelon group. Harry's wife has done that, repeatedly moving what she perceives as upwards, and to some extent people would agree, in terms of leaving behind those that serve no useful purpose to her, swapping them in and out. The male has picked up on the changes over the years, and it provides us with a useful opportunity to just see how the friends of both Prince Harry and Harry's wife have altered over the years. Her, because she utilises friends as appliances, trading them for their usefulness. Him, because of the influence that she has upon him, as I've explained elsewhere, with regard to damaging his own relationships with other people. Some of the placements that the male have opted for I wouldn't necessarily agree with regard to concerning them being particularly close to Harry and Harry's wife, but leaving that to one side, it's an interesting tale of how these friendships have altered. And the fact is, you know the reason that they have changed is because for Harry's wife, a friend is never a friend. They are simply an appliance that is there to be used by her. Prince Harry and Harry's wife have had an ever-changing circle of friends over the past few years after they quit as working royals in 2020 and began a new life in the United States. While they have been close for years to the likes of Serena Williams and Misha Nunu, they have recently got to know Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey. Others in the Sussex's trusted inner circle include Gayle King, Lieutenant, Meeson Harriman, and Sophie Trudeau, as well as Princess Eugenie and her husband Jack Brooksbank. They have also have those with whom there have been alleged feuds, including Jessica Mulrooney and Tom Inskip, while others, such as Lizzie Cundy, Ninaki Priddy, and Millie McIntosh, have openly spoken about the relationship breaking down. Inner orbit, Tyler Perry. American actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry has become one of Harry and Harry's wife's closest friends since they moved to California, but they first had contact before their wedding in 2018. Harry's wife revealed in the Sussexes' Netflix documentary that Perry sent her a letter expressing his sympathy over how she was estranged from her father, Thomas. She said in the programme, "I'd never met him before. He said he was praying for me, and if I ever need anything, he would be there." Perry then invited Harry's wife and Harry in 2020 to move into his 18-bedroom home in Los Angeles, worth £16 million, without even having met them. The couple spent 6 weeks there before later moving into their first home together, the £12 million mansion in Montecito, where they live now. The trio have since become good friends, and Perry is now Lilibet's godfather, but told the Netflix documentary that he did so on the insistence that he would not be involved in any royal ceremony at a church in Britain. The Sussexes are also said to have enjoyed holidays on Perry's private island in the Bahamas. Residual benefit. Perhaps Harry's wife and Harry's most famous friend is Oprah Winfrey, who conducted the bombshell interview with the couple in 2021 that caused a huge fallout over a series of allegations, including racism and bullying. Later reflecting on the interview on CBS in September last year, Oprah, who is a close neighbour of the couple in Montecito, claimed that she didn't set out to do a bombshell interview. She added, "I was as surprised by the bombshell as everybody else. I was doing an interview to offer them a platform to tell their story about why they left." In March this year, Oprah said the couple had not consulted her on whether to attend the King's coronation, which led to some claims on Twitter that she was distancing herself from them. Gayle King. CBS presenter Gayle King was one of the guests at Harry's wife's famously lavish baby shower in New York in 2019 and has regularly defended the couple on US television. Lieutenant. Now one of the couple's chief cheerleaders, Lieutenant in America, King also recently praised how they handled the decision for Harry to attend his father King Charles III's coronation in London in May and leave Harry's wife in California. Back in 2021, at the time of the Oprah Winfrey interview, King also defended Harry's wife over accusations of falsehoods given in the bombshell chat, and said the Duchess has documents to back up everything that she said. Interestingly, I don't think we've ever seen these documents. Meeson Harriman is a Nigerian-born British celebrity photographer and a family friend of Harry and Harry's wife, who claims to have helped them meet. He took the pregnancy announcement photograph of the couple in February 2021, sat under a tree in Los Angeles, with Harry resting his hand on Harry's wife's head as she lay in his lap cradling her bump. He has spoken about his pivotal role in Harry's wife and Harry meeting. Serena Williams. Harry's wife's bond with Serena Williams dates back to 2010 and is one of the longest friendships the Duchess has had with a major celebrity. They first met at the Super Bowl that year, and then again at the event in 2014. The tennis star and her husband Alexis Ohanian attended Harry and Harry's wife's wedding in May 2018, and then Harry's wife watched Williams at Wimbledon in June that year, alongside Kate in the royal box. They did so again in July 2019. In August last year, Williams appeared on Harry's wife's Spotify podcast Archetypes. Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank. Harry has been very close with his cousin Princess Eugenie since they were children, and that bond has strengthened since he married Harry's wife, and Eugenie wed Jack Brooksbank, both in 2018. Eugenie was one of the first people Harry introduced to Harry's wife before they revealed their relationship back in 2016. And he said in his memoir Spare that the women instantly became friends and were soon hugging like sisters. Harry and Harry's wife went out on a night out in a Halloween party in Toronto with Eugenie and Mr. Brooksbank in 2016. Misha Nonu. She is a fashion designer and the former wife of Harry's friend Alexander Gilks. She is one of a few people rumoured to have set up the couple. Harry's wife first met Miss Nonu when she was filming the TV drama Suits in Toronto, and they became good friends, even going away on holiday together. Ms. Nonu was a guest at Harry and Harry's wife's wedding, and they've worked together on a clothing line for the charity Smart Works. Victoria Jackson is a former makeup artist who Harry's wife met through their mutual friend Gloria Steinem, a well-known feminist journalist and women's rights advocate in the United States. Ms. Jackson, who is 26 years old, than the former Suits star and appeared on the Duchess's recently axed Spotify podcast Archetypes, built one of the first TV infomercial makeup empires. Middle orbit. Omid Scobie. Royal reporter, plastic-faced improbably named Lieutenant Omid Scobie, was thought to have been a friend and trusted contact of Harry and Harry's wife, but both parties have moved to distance themselves from each other in recent weeks. Earlier this month, Harry told his High Court hacking case that he knows of a Mr. Scobie, who is Bazaar.com's royal editor-at-large and co-authored the 2020 book Finding Freedom about the Sussexes. Mr. Scobie also insisted that he is not the Sussexes' friend, mouthpiece cheerleader, as he gave evidence at the High Court for Harry recently, although, of course, his behaviour supports that he is those very things. Wendell Pierce, the actor, was known to be close whilst Harry's wife worked on Suits. He walked her down the aisle for her wedding in the TV show and recalled talking to her about her real-life relationship with Harry and their future life. Pierce didn't attend her wedding, unlike several of her other Suits co-stars, and he then slammed her interview with Oprah in 2021, telling LBC that the timing of the programme was poor due to the ongoing pandemic at the time. He added it was quite insensitive and offensive that we are all complicit in this sort of palace gossip in the midst of such death. I think it is insignificant. Tom Inskip, also known as Skippy, is one of Prince Harry's oldest friends. The two of them, however, appeared to have fallen out after Mr. Inskip warned Harry against marrying Harry's wife. Accordingly, of course, Harry's wife moves to have him alienated because he's seen as a threat. According to the book Finding Freedom, Mr. Inskip expressed doubts about how quickly the relationship was moving and decided to warn his friend Harry. He's believed to have advised Harry to live with Harry's wife before doing anything more serious. Sarah Ferguson is seen as not being as close to Harry and Harry's wife as she once did, and recently appeared to subtly criticise their decision to step down as working royals. She said with an interview in The Independent in April, "You can't have it both ways. You can't sit on the fence and keep one foot in and one foot out. You're either in or out. But then don't cry about not being invited to weddings. You chose to leave. Now go and live it and be it." She also admitted that she doesn't really know Harry's wife, although she's sure that Harry's wife really loves Harry. George and Amal Clooney. They were among the two most famous non-royals to attend Harry and Harry's wife's wedding in 2018 and were given prime seats in St. George's Chapel. The Clooneys hosted Harry and Harry's wife at least twice at their home in Sonning, Oxfordshire, according to the Sussexes' biography Finding Freedom. The book also claimed that the Clooneys invited the Sussexes to Lake Como only weeks after their wedding, flying them out on a private jet. But the Clooneys haven't taken any sides in the transatlantic row between the Sussexes and the rest of the family, and turned out in support of King Charles III at a Prince's Trust event in London in May. Then describes the outer orbit, Lizzie Cundy. She's explained that once Harry's wife had got the ring on the finger, she soon realised she was off Twitter and that her number wasn't working, and that was it. I'm afraid both Piers Morgan and I got ghosted. Gina Nelthorpe Cowan, her former friend, advisor and confidant, spent 2 years travelling the world for corporate and charity events. She became Harry's wife's commercial agent, helping her obtain endorsements and sponsorship deals. But she said that Harry's wife eventually was told she could no longer do commercial work once she was in the royal family. She explained that Harry's wife's last email to her was to say that her life had changed and she would no longer pursue commercial work. She wanted to remain friends, she added, saying that it was very important to her, but then she never heard from Harry's wife again, which of course is demonstrative of the way that she behaves, throwing somebody else to one side. She did similarly with Jessica Mulrooney, who explained that she, although publicly supporting Harry's wife, has found herself put to one side and was also noticeably absent from the Sussexes' Netflix documentary series. Ninaki Priddy explained that she fell out with Harry's wife after she disapproved of the manner of Harry's wife's breakup from Mr. Engelson. She stated, "All I can say now is that I think Harry's wife was calculated, very calculated in the way she handled people and relationships. She's very strategic in the way she cultivates circle of friends. Once she decides you're not part of her life, she can be very cold. It's this shutdown mechanism she has. There's nothing to negotiate. She's made her decision, and that's it." Millie McIntosh explained that she received an abrupt response when she sent well wishes to Harry's wife and decided not to contact her again. She said, "It's not like I messaged her asking if it was true. That was none of my business. What I read from that message was that she needed a bit of space to cool off. I didn't message her again, but I did expect that we would stay in touch. I thought she'd message back and say, 'Sorry, everything's a bit stressful right now.' I never heard from her again. I felt like she basically told me to fuck off in that message, so I did, and we haven't spoken since." Edward Enninful, the Vogue editor, who previously spoke in support of Harry's wife. However, it's claimed that Harry's wife clashed with Enninful and his staff on her suggestions for the Vogue issue and was trying to alter it in terms of when it would be published in the United States and Britain. Katy Perry has been claimed to be the recipient of a grudge from Harry's wife as a consequence of critical comments made about her wedding dress. And then, of course, there's Prince William and Kate, who have nothing to do with them as a consequence of taking the appropriate route following expert advice. You will see there the way that Harry's wife impacts on people. The ones that have been left behind, the ones where she's interfered in the relationships so that they've decided not to have any further involvement because she has in effect forced them out. This is not uncommon, of course, in the behaviour of the narcissist, and it is all done in order to enable the narcissist chiefly to control the intimate partner primary source more effectively, whilst nullifying threats to control that are posed by those secondary sources such as friends and family members. You will invariably see the hokey-cokey when it comes to a narcissist and the friends around them. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.